previously spent 22 years as an outstanding head coach at Independence, where he won 205 games, 9 district titles, and probably beats Stubbs on a regular basis. No, I'm just kidding. Twice led Independence to the state championship game. LSU will host New Mexico State Saturday at Tiger Stadium. Please give a warm quarterback club welcome to our quarterback club friend, Charlie Baglio of LSU.
So my job's not that hard. That's the saying. Coach Jones, you want to know how to beat John Curtis? Get with Stubbs before you leave. He can show you how. Where do you start, you know? Everybody gets up and tells you all the ingredients that you need to win. Well, all the ingredients that you need to lose, we were guilty of. Didn't play very well at all. Underestimated the opponent. Didn't look like we played very hard. It was really shocking, you know, to be able to sit there and watch it because it came out of the blue. Mississippi State came to play, and they were a lot better than we anticipated, to be honest with you. It goes to show you, though, that inexperience really came into focus. Mississippi State's front seven were very experienced, even though I felt that our offensive line was our strength. It wasn't a strength Saturday night. Our defensive line is very inexperienced. Going against those big guys from Mississippi State, we didn't do a very good job. And Dak Prescott is as advertised. He is a good football player. And coming from Louisiana, you know, you just never know how one's going to turn out. But we know how he turned out. I can tell you, he's a good football player, and they keep playing the way they're playing. You know, they're going to have a chance to be in the mix, and we've got to get some things fixed. I'm sure we have some questions, and because there's not much you can say when you get your butt handed to you the way we did, other than maybe answer some questions and try to the best of my ability. Yes, sir.
This past week, I heard more times that Mississippi State hadn't beat LSU since the 90s, and in years past it didn't really come up how long it's been since they beat them. But do you think that played into the fact that LSU took them a little light? Hearing that all?
Probably not, because we've always played well against them. Every time we played well against them for the last 15 years, and but you know, you really can't answer that. It could be what we tried to do against them, or what they did against us that we wasn't prepared for. And once it got rolling the way they were rolling, it all went downhill quickly. So, I don't know if that was part of it. Yes, sir.
We in for a quarterback controversy, but Harris looked really good throwing the ball.
Yeah, he did. He really did, and he's going to make big plays. I'd like for you to remember that they had a 3-man rush when he was throwing it, whereas Jennings was put in some awful bad positions. You know, it was 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, and everybody, including Mississippi State, knew we had to throw the ball. But I would think that maybe at least some thought about it, because he's going to make a lot of big plays, Harris, but he's also going to make some mistakes. He's a freshman. But he's got a live arm, got good feet, can move around, break some plays. So, but we really don't know. And like I said, we put Jennings in some awful situations. Yes, sir.
Young teams, a lot of mistakes, a lot of young kids. I guess that's kind of understandable. What bothers me most is, tell me if I'm misreading this, we seem like we cannot make coaching adjustments. It's something we need to do. We get beat by a quarterback draw.
Yeah.
5 times. They do seemingly nothing to change that. No different alignments. In fact, on the 55-yard touchdown, he didn't even have a safety within the hash mark.
No, it looked like both safeties were playing to the outside. I agree with you.
Am I missing it?
I don't know. I wasn't in that room when they were making adjustments. But certainly whenever they went to an empty backfield, it looked like the plan was to, and I don't know why, because he does run an awful lot. It looked like the plan was to get everybody outside and worry about it. Because maybe the tendency they had was in an empty backfield, they threw the ball, but I don't know. I agree with you. Yes, ma'am.
The football player from Mississippi State that looked like he deliberately stepped on LSU's players twice.
Dylan Day.
Are they going to, is the league going to do anything about it? Or is that something?
That probably not, because it comes from the league, unless the league sees something that, and the officials never did anything to the kid. So they might have called one personal foul on him. That's right. You're right. But it would come from the league. It wouldn't come from LSU, unless we sent something in on him. Yes. Yeah. We usually do. We send something in on things like that. Yes, sir.
So LSU, you kind of mentioned the lines earlier. You know, they're a power football team, so obviously you need to have a strong offensive line. Defense, the identity seems to always be generate pass rush from the front four and let the other guys, do their thing out in space. So when you're struggling with both lines, do you think LSU needs to do something different schematically this year to adjust for that youth and struggle up front?
Well, John Shavis, talk about defense first. John Shavis has been a pretty good coach for 25 years in that league. I'm not going to sit up here and second guess him. He's won awful lot more games than we'll think about winning, So you're not going to second guess what he does. He does what he does because he knows what he does. You're not going to get somebody to change exactly what they do, their philosophy about that. So I don't think that's the case. I just think that we got two guys inside the tackles that hadn't played very much. And one of them is not very big. The freshman, we start the freshman there. He weighs 284, going against 330-pound offensive lineman. We got beat. On the other side of the ball, the offensive line, we couldn't get much going with the running game. What do we have, 80-something yards rushing? 89 yards rushing. You can't. Pretty hard to do anything when you can't rush the football. You got to throw it every down. Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach, you have an inexperience. With all these players that have left us early to go to the NFL, has that just caught up with us finally?
It's going to keep continuing. It's going to it's going to catch up with you, because what you're seeing now is, you're getting less and less experienced players. So that's why you're going to see an awful lot more freshmen play, because then they can play for 3 years and to keep the experience going, because and we've led the country with that, so it's pretty tough. I agree with you. I think that's part of the problem. Yes?
Your comments on the running back, Fournette and Williams?
I think both of them are going to be great players. I really do. I think they have a struggle right now in this game, because of what Mississippi State did. But I think that they both have big futures at LSU. I really do. Big futures. Any questions? Thank y'all. Appreciate it very much.